I did a Maker's Mark private selection, drinking buddies. Let's talk about that.
I'm your drinking buddy.
Well, drinking buddies, so Marco and Javier from Nana's Kitchen were nice enough to bring me along when they did a Maker's private selection, and boy, was it a good time. I definitely think that this is the most interesting store pick you can do because you literally make it your own. Any other store pick, you're just picking your favorite barrel of something that someone else made. But this, you are making it yourself. Let me explain. So, every single Maker's private selection begins its life as Maker's cask strength. It gives this cool journal, and the first three, I did a really good job of writing stuff down in. And then after that, there was so much stuff going on that I didn't write anything. However, it's really good it really brings everything back to me. But like I said, everything begins here. And then you can choose from 10 staves that can be added to the barrel that will give it a completely unique character. So those staves are Baked American Pure, Seared French Cuvée, Maker's 46 staves, which are French oak as well, Roasted French Mindana, Toasted French Spice, and those are the ones that you can choose from. Now this one, I believe, so this one has the same choices. This is my favorite one that I had prior to picking, but this is not as good as what we made. So you're given first a pour of Maker's cask strength, and that's a really good way to set your palate and tell you what it tastes like before you add anything to it. Now, on this one, for me, I get a lot of cherry, I get a lot of cinnamon, I get a lot of bourbon, vanilla, and caramel. Classic bourbon flavors across the board, and it's great. It's really great. But we can make something super unique by throwing in these spires. So this one is really Baked American Pure heavy. And then we sat down at our little thing, and the first one that you're given is a pour of Maker's cask strength that has 10 Baked American Pure in it. And I tasted that, and that was the best thing I tasted all day until we made the one that we made. So I was on the camp of lean heavy into Baked American Pure, because the Baked American Pure by itself is amazing. And this one here is really heavy in Baked American Pure. So I think I did, on my first one that I submitted, I picked 6 Baked American Pure. I was all about it. And then I realized that soon after, because the pick after mine was just so much better, and it leaned really heavy into those crazy French finishes, and it was so good. And that's going to give you something like this BRT02, or I have FAE02 here. But yeah, I don't know where BRT02 is, but those French oak finishes are going to give you something like FAE02 or the BRT02. Really, really crazy flavors that are awesome. But yeah, let me give you a little bit of my notes here. So for example, the Seared French Cuvée gave me a lot of citrus zest on the nose. It had flavors of maple and brown sugar, and it had a mouthfeel that was really thick and syrupy, and it had a really long finish. The Maker's 46 were honey and vanilla on the nose, and they were spicy, clove, and cinnamon on the palate, and then the mouthfeel was syrupy, but not as thick as the Cuvée, not as good of a mouthfeel as the Cuvée. And it was a medium long finish, not quite as long as the Cuvée either. And then we got to the Roasted French Mindana, and I go, oh my God, this nose is amazing. It was super bright, it was super awesome. But the flavor I found to be kind of bitter and tannic, thinner mouthfeel, but it had a really, really long finish. And what I didn't realize at the time was that if you capitalized on some French Mindana to get that long finish and combined that with the 46 as well as the toasted French spice, you could make something really interesting by using that the mint in it that's got the long finish and, you know, getting the better flavors off those other spires. We ended up with a selection where I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to top this. And we did. So that first selection that was like our winner out of all of our, first trial runs was so good. But we took that recipe and we took away one of the baked American pures and switched it for another one of the French oaks. And oh man, I was so wrong because I really wanted to lean baked American pure heavy. Everything else was just giving us a better result. Everything else was just giving us more unique flavors. And this one is my favorite Maker's Private Selection I've tasted so far before we did the whole tasting and everything. And the one that we picked smashes this one. And this is not one big giant commercial. In fact, you probably can't buy this bottle. This is not something that I'm selling. This is something that Nana's Kitchen is going to be selling. So if you're in Tucson, you can go buy one, maybe, if they haven't sold out yet, because it sounded like they might sell out. But this is not something that you can buy. So this is not me trying to sell you anything. This is just me telling you how cool of an experience it was to pick a barrel with Makers. This is the most unique process because any other barrel pick, they might give you 3 barrels and you get to try those 3, and that's awesome. If you didn't make anything, we blended this, we picked this. Like this is so much different. This is so much more unique than anything anyone else is doing. So thank you to Makers for this wonderful experience. Thank you to Nana's Kitchen for allowing me to be part of it. And thank you for every single one of you, because if you guys didn't like, and you guys didn't subscribe to my channel, I wouldn't be able to keep doing this. The only reason that I am here is because you like the videos, because you subscribe to my channel. Yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.